Well, how are you guys doing? We're on episode 12, Big Brother Canada season 10. And this was mildly interesting. It was kind of interesting. I was not expecting the person to win that did win, but we started with the HOH competition. And it was basically a trivia game where they had to run through the house, open 5 different secret doors with 5 different past Big Brother Canada players in different rooms, and they have to memorize what's in the room, what what the person, who the person is, and what they're doing, and then run back to the podiums and answer the questions. See if we can get some pictures of some pictures of the actual stages. Okay. They just showed like quick flashes of it. So, oh, there we go. There's one. Could show one right here. It's one room. I think that's Cindy. They had a couple of questions about the room. I think they had a question about the background in the room, and there's some things written on the glass further up that you can't see, but they had some questions about that as well. There was 5 different rooms. It was like Cindy, Spicy V. Oh, there's another one. Oops, let me get a better angle at that. All right. So that's Jedson in that room, and they had a question about, I think there's a bag in his hand, and they had a question about which hand was he holding that bag in. I think that was the only question about his room, because there's not much going on there. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Okay, there's another one right there. This is Anthony. There was a question about the colored balls. There's colored balls by his feet. There's a question about that. Most of the questions were, I think there was a bunch of the rooms that they barely even asked questions about. But there was only maybe 6, maybe 5 or 6 questions. No, 7 questions. I think there was like 7 questions. All right. Oops, went too far. Oh, damn. Thought I had it. All right, there we go. All right. There's also this room with Victoria in it, Spicy V, as they call it. There was a question about her arm position, I believe. There was a question of whether or not she had her arm over her head. And obviously, as you can see, she does not. All right. No. All right, and then this one, Godfrey. I can't remember the question about this room. Maybe, no, I can't remember the question about this room at all. He was like the least memorable, I think, of all of them. Was that all five? Victoria, this guy, Anthony, Jedson, that's three, Cindy, four, the fifth, was Godfrey fifth? Or did I say Godfrey already? Can't remember. Can't remember. Anyways, the competition continued, and the winner, final winner, they had to, I think they had to go to a decision because it was a three-way tie between, was it JC? I think it was, can't remember. You're gonna have to look at it. Oh, right. Oh, oops. Oops. Yes, the final question was how many balloons was in the Power Poppers competition where they had to pop all those balloons. Damn it. It was just right there. There we go. And here you have it. There's your final three in the competition. You have Jess, Josh, and Jason Lynn at the end there. And of course, the winner in the final one, I think it was like how many balloons, and the answer was like 1,400 and something. And Jess answered 200. Josh answered 400. And I think Jess answered 1,111, which makes Jess, geez, too many J's, the final winner of the HOH competition. And Jess was, oh, the hell just happened? Jess was excited because people finally get to talk to Jess. Almost said the words that shall not be said. People finally get to talk to Jess, and they have to talk to Jess, and Jess can actually, you know, form relationships and make deals and you know, actually get rid of people that are after. Almost did it again. They, them, those. Yes, so it was a whole Jess fest of awkward conversations. It was crazy because Herman, you see right there, was freaking out because he's thinking he's going to go on the block, and I didn't really know he had that kind of relationship with Jess. I guess I don't know. He did put her on the block the first week when he became HOH, but I didn't think they had that bad of a relationship. But he was freaking out about it, and I guess people were going around talking to Jess about who would who wanted they out and them out. These plural words to mean one person is ridiculous, but Herman was he was nervous about it, and he's working with God damn it, what was that single mom's name? Tanisha? I think it's Tanisha. He was working with Tanisha and Summer. And of course, Summer sucked ass in the competition. And people are thinking that Summer is throwing competitions. I know Summer is actually pretty terrible at competitions, but you would find out later that Summer actually doesn't trust Herman, and Summer is still trying to have that Mandems alliance that she had, where she wanted all girls and wanted to get rid of all the guys. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what Summer is doing. She's there to just hang out, in my impression. Like, just Get rid of her. Get rid of her. Enough. I've had enough of Summer. Jess, God damn it. Just a, I don't know. And then there's Betty. Betty, poor Betty, just moping around the house, doing nothing. And every time someone talks about the fact that Betty's useless and Betty's just just being carried through the game, Betty starts yelling at people. The truth is, you're garbage, Betty. You did worse at every competition besides the one that Kyle won. She was dead last. She's that bad. And she's competed more than most people, I think. She's been in almost every single POV, and of course every HOH. Just competed so many times and just complete garbage, just hot garbage. Doesn't have that many relationships with people, not making many game moves, but still get offended when people say that she's just being carried and she's not that very good. Not that very good. It's an awkward way to say things. Anyways, yes, this this one, I don't know. I don't like the idea of just being HOH. It just like making all the wrong moves. Just talked to Kevin and was trying to get Kevin's perspective on things and just trying to convince Kevin to talk more and have more conversation, because Kevin doesn't consider Jess his number one, but Jess considers Kevin their number one. And it's just always an awkward moment. And Kevin gave very great analysis of the house and pretty much showed where everyone stands and suggested that they work with Gino and JC Lynn, which is actually a pretty good idea because they're kind of isolated from the rest of the house now at this point because of the whole Kyle fiasco. Even though they sort of try to distance themselves by getting rid of Kyle, there's a perfect opportunity for they and Kevin and those four to kind of work together and kind of build something. But Jess was like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't want it to be a full-blown alliance. I just kind of feel them out. That kind of wishy-washy kind of stuff. So I had Jess had a conversation with JC Lynn. They kind of figured out that they have the same targets, but they wouldn't solidify anything into an alliance. I don't know why. I don't know why. You have no friends. There's a key moment where Jess said, the Big Brother house sort of feels like high school. And anyone that ever says that in life, if you ever hear someone say, whatever is happening now, or at some point in their life, that things start to feel like high school, that lets you know that that person has never changed since high school. You're the exact same person you are now as you were in high school, and you haven't matured in any way, shape, or form. And people are reacting to you exactly as they did when you were in high school, because you're the same awkward, nervous person that you were before, and that's why they're treating you the exact same way. The reason that things feel like high school is not because people are acting like they did in high school, is because you are exactly the same person that you were in high school and people are reacting to you the exact same way. Just awkward, trying to stay to, Jess is always just trying to find spots in the house to be alone. And then people just end up walking into that room and just getting stared down by Jess, constantly rolling their eyes at people and breathing heavy and just looking like they don't want people around. And it's just like, how do you expect people to react to you? How do you expect people to want to be friends with you if you act like that? I'm surprised their eyes are not like falling out of their sockets just because of the constant rolling. Like, it's just insane. but there it is. Jess confronts Moose about the fact that Jess has been hearing from everyone that Moose considers her his target and is constantly talking about he would target her. Oops. The battle continues. They and yeah, and Moose tried to lie his way out of it, but it didn't work. He was just basically like, yeah, I'm caught. It was like, it's like whatever will be, will be. And then eventually Jess talks to Herman, told him, Jess was like, well, I felt like I handed you an olive branch and you never really accepted it. So that's why I'm gonna put you on the block. And Herman was like, yeah, that's fine. I guess I kind of assumed it as soon as you won. And Jess was like, well, you're really not giving me anything right now. And he was like, well, I mean, I just kind of thought you were putting me on the block. It was like, well, you cannot understand why I'm doing that, because I feel like you would do the same to me, that I was one of your targets. Like, no, I wouldn't have targeted you. I've already said I wouldn't have targeted you. And Jess was like, well, if you're not going to target me, who would you target? And Herman was like, well, I don't feel like I have to tell you that. Like, well, you're not giving me anything. You're just like, and he was like, no, I just don't, I'm just not going to tell you that. It's like, oh, fine. You just don't want to talk. It was like the craziest conversation where Jess is trying to pull out information out of Herman after telling him that you're going to put him up on the block. It's just like, why would he do that? Because then those people that could potentially vote for him to stay, he now going to alienate them by giving you information you can use against them. It was just the craziest play that he wasn't going for, and just took offense to the fact that he wasn't going for it. It's more Jess took Summer to dinner or whatever, which was the most useless thing you can possibly do. Summer just constantly talks and really does nothing, really. Summer is really just hanging out in the Big Brother house. I don't understand why Summer is in the game. So yeah, did a lot of talking. There was a point where Jess revealed to Betty that Moose, yes, names. I have a hard time with names. That Moose said that Betty was just floating around, and Moose doesn't understand why doesn't Jess just go after all these people that are floating around, like I think he said Kevin and Betty, and just told Betty about it, and Betty obviously took offense, even though it's true. It's very true. It's not so much true about Kevin. Kevin actually makes moves. He just hasn't accomplished anything. But took offense, goes into the living room, starts screaming at Moose, and does the exact same thing she did with Kevin when she screamed at Kevin, telling him he was a crazy person. He was a terrible person. Just screams at Moose, and then says, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. And it's like, oh, okay. And he barely says anything. And Betty was just like, I don't even want to talk to you. And proceed to keep screaming at him. Doesn't want to hear what he has to say. Doesn't want to talk to him, and just keeps yelling at this person. What is wrong with you? Just insane. So in the end, we have Herman, who, see right there, does a little dance as he gets put on the block because he was expecting it. And Moose got put on the block, and he was also not impressed, and they were just having fun with it, and just took offense to that, saying that as a fan of Big Brother, These two people made a mockery of the nomination ceremony, and which just confirms my choice. Come on. People don't take you seriously because you haven't built relationships with them. It's just, oh, damn it. Anyways, this whole week is going to be a disappointment to me just because of Jess. I just can't rock with her with Jess's gameplay. I'm sorry. I can't do it. We'll see. Maybe something impressive will happen, but the POV might be interesting. But Jess, just no, no Jess. Sorry.